Good evening. Why do we do this to ourselves, lads? Why do we do this to ourselves and ladies? United won, Burnley won. Don't fuck this up. That's what we had as the title for the preview, and we fucked it up. It does feel like we've been done twice in a week by VAR. It does feel like we've had. I thought Friday was a much better overall performance than tonight, but it does feel like we did enough in both games to come away with a victory in both games. There feels so much wrong, doesn't it? Let me pull my notes up. There's so much that I feel like is kind of missing a little bit. First half versus second half is vastly different. I'm not sure why that was. I don't think it was tiredness. I don't think we looked tired towards the end, and I have thought we looked tired lately, but I don't think we looked tired at all in today's game. I do think Harry Maguire is going to come in for some stick, and he probably deserves a portion of it. You just purely talk about the pure lack of a fucking ability that he's got. Just technical defending. It's not even that he's clumsy, but he's clumsy. It's just like he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, and this is mental to call for what is effectively one of the most expensive defenders in world football. When you can pick him apart, I should be able to pull videos of Harry Maguire up and go, watch him, lads. Look at this. Effortless quality and class. But guess what? If I did that, you'd all look at me like I'd just found my brains in a sink. Like, when you look at some of the greatest defenders, like Yapstam, the greatest defender I've seen in a United shirt, right? And then Rio, Vidic, Dennis Irwin. As defensive defenders, it's those guys, really. Gary Pallister was excellent. He don't get a lot of the credit he deserves. And actually, Gary Neville, positionally, Stam and Rio were a cut above, and I'd love to have seen how they played together. Like, you see poor players that have to sort of run it out to get them out of trouble that they've found themselves in. And Maguire literally epitomises that. He's like a slower version of Micah Richards, man. He really suited our style of players as a counter-attacking side, because you would have players all around you and protection. But when you want to be a team that dominates the ball and you play so high up the pitch, it requires a different defender. And that's why Stam and Rio and Vidic, and actually Ronnie Johnson, what a player he was, man. And even Steve Bruce, right? From a technical standpoint, the defending masterclass that these lads could have put on. And I know that the game has changed. It's become a lot more technical with your feet. But those players, Bruce Pallister, Stam Johnson, Rio Vidic, you could copy-paste them into today's game and you could see real players out of them. You would see the difference in them. They could play in any era, all of them. Some of them more than others. Yap Stam in today's era would be so good. And he could get away with... Pallister was fast, Rio was fast, Stam was fucking fast. They could all play higher up the pitch. You know, and this isn't a dig like everybody out at United. This is like, you look at Varane, you don't see him get done like this. He just knows where to be, and there's a calmness about him. And you look at some other clubs' captains. Look at Vincent Kompany. You look at Sergio Ramos, defenders, right? And then you look at Manchester United's £80 million centre-half captain. I grew up with Brian Robson being known as Captain Marvel, right? Like a superhero. Literally that sort of thing. Chest out, fucking immaculate hair, chin up. captain of Manchester United, captain of England. That's what it should be. That's what the Manchester United captain should be. Captain of club and country. Roy Keane did the same thing. Not England, obviously. Just this embodiment of everything that it's about. And fucking Harry Maguire would get turned. No coincidence, right? That he's found his level playing against fucking Middlesbrough and Burnley. Because both of them are essentially championship sides. And this is where he is. In a team that wants to play higher up the pitch, he's a championship player. And I would have said, do you know what? At the time we signed him, he did all right. And he had a good start to his Manchester United career. But United have evolved, thankfully. Some people will say we've evolved worse. We've not. We've just exposed our weaknesses because how we were protecting our weaknesses beforehand. You could put... Honestly, you could have put Tarkowski in there tonight. Miles better. Miles better. And some of the stats are actually mental when you start looking into them. I mean, if you had to rank the centre-halves that was on the pitch tonight... I mean, I know Eric Peters ain't a centre-half, but he's a better centre-half than fucking Harry Maguire. And 8 headers he won tonight. And Daniel Lingard says, so Maguire doesn't play and our forward score more. Is that the entire problem? No, but when you're a simpleton, Daniel, those are the conclusions that you draw. Here's the things. If Maguire doesn't make his mistake, United come away 1-0. If they don't score, they keep trying to score, therefore making it easier for you to score at the other end of the pitch. These things are all intertwined. And it's not even just about his poor defending. His poor defending is one thing, and it's the main thing. But it's his lack of ability on the ball. I used to think Harry Maguire actually had a pass in him. Now I don't even think he knows what the fucking hell he's doing anymore, with and without the ball. The Maguire decision on VAR, if I give you that one, Ross Murphy in the comments saying, Maguire last season was in team of the season for England at the Euros. International football cannot be compared to the Premier League. It just can't. It's a different kettle of fish. The Maguire one that was disallowed on VAR, if I give you that one, because it was a bit iffy. And we've definitely seen them given, haven't we? I thought it was a bit strange for it to get pulled. But if we give you that one and say, okay, you can have that one, I don't know how any goal is ever scored in the Premier League for what happened with Pogba's one, the own goal. Why is this getting disallowed, man? We had 22 shots. 64% possession, 19 chances created. Bruno on his own created 6 chances tonight. I know they weren't necessarily successful with this. Hang on. I'm going to text off Ronaldo. What do you want? I lost my train of thought now. What was you saying? So what you guys are saying in the comments. Sanjay says, wish Burnley would go down so we can swap Maguire and cash for Tarkowski. Oh, you would, wouldn't you? You would take Tarkowski now if he was offered. He improves us. He literally does. Luke Niblock says, telling you now, Garner picks up the ball in a game like that and doesn't accept us having no tempo. Needs someone there to keep things ticking. It's painful viewing. Do you know what? Garner is, dare I say, becoming the new Donny van der Beek obsession for everyone. Let's hope he gets more opportunities to play. Well, he's certainly proving it, unlike Donny. Wasn't getting the opportunity to prove it and therefore wasn't proving it, but at least he's proving it. The problems don't go away if you bench Maguire. One day you will all realise this, says Michael. Well, no, here's the thing, mate. You can only go... A team's only as good as its weakest links. And for me at the moment, Maguire if not the weakest link, is certainly in the conversation for one of the weakest links. Callum says I'm a Levitt man myself. We need to figure out how to score so many shots and chances created. It's one step at a time, innit? So we had to learn how to be more intense under Ralph. We've done that. We've crossed that bridge. Then we had to learn how to start playing through the thirds. We look like we're in the process of doing that. I hope what comes next is the finishing aspect. I thought trying the sheer weight of crosses that we did today was fucking dumb. And I mentioned how dumb it was in the preview. And I mentioned something like, what's the point in resorting to just crossing after crossing after crossing? I was talking about Bruno's specific style of crossing. Now, on 6 chances, obviously, wasn't 6 goals. What I like about the angle, it's that De Bruyne style cross from half space to the back post. I like that. I like that as a different method of delivery. It's one that you don't often see centre-halves having in front of them and just going bosh and clearing, which you see with a lot of United's crosses. Here's the problem with United. We don't move through the thirds anywhere near enough speed. And I was watching that intently. Even the chance that we had in a transition right at the very end of the game, there was a delay in it. The ball's got to move so much faster, man. You've got to move that ball into the final third to give you an opportunity, especially against a team in a low block. Low blocks work. There's a reason teams employ them. They're a fucking nightmare to break down. So you have to take your chances when the ball's moved up the pitch. I was actually enjoying watching them attack us, thinking, win it, win it, win it, and turn it. And then you're seeing people dribble with it. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? It's got to go. The ball has got to fucking move. That's the only way you're going to get through a team like this, is you've got to win it and go vertical with it. Not long. There's a difference. You've got to put the ball into the final third, whether that's a channel. Look at the pace that we've got. Honestly. Get it into the final third somehow. You can go over the top. You can go around the corner. You can go through it if you have to. But there just seemed to be a bit of a lack of that sort of incisive through ball, something breaking the lines through the middle of the pitch. You have that, you fucking carve a team open like this all day long. Against Middlesbrough, United had some great one-touch, lateral forward. It was fucking great to see. And then tonight, I was just thinking, it's got to go forward quicker. When a team sits off, low blocks you, it's too easy just to do that fucking horseshoe round the back. Fuck that noise. Get it forward. You've got to be brave. Sometimes you've got to be able to take it under pressure. You've got to be able to turn. Pogba, Bruno, this team is made to do that. Yes, McTominay's no Pirlo. He's not even Michael fucking Carrick on a good day. But he's only got to find those 2 players. Those 2, if they're moving and rotating, you can find them. And then you've got fucking Ronaldo and Sancho and Rashford in front of you. There's movement there. There's quality there. Rashford's still not at the races completely, but there's still ability there. You've got to get the fucking ball up there. And when people are saying like, this is, Maguire's not that. Do you know what? Maguire is part of that problem, because sometimes your centre-half has got to go centre-half to centre-forward. You know what I mean? Michael says Fernandes and Pogba don't work together in the same midfield. It's what, the second game we've seen it? York and Cole didn't work that quickly. Bruno created 7 chances today. Well, I got 6, but I'm not going to argue with you. Wazza says bring Mengi and Garner back. Do you know what? I'd be fucking rubbing my mitts together. If I'm Ted and Mengi now, I'm going fucking keep playing the big slabhead. Keep playing him. I'll fucking show you. I'm quick. I make better decisions. And even the bad decisions I make, I'm making them because I'm raw and inexperienced, not because I'm a fucking idiot. How many players do we need in the summer? How many are going to leave? Feels about half a dozen. Feels about half a dozen, doesn't it? Luke says, bang on, Steve. What happened to the Leicester Maguire that brought the ball out of the back every game? He lost it. Yeah, that was a guy that drove into space. Now, Leicester didn't necessarily play the highest of lines at the time, but he did that with England in the back 3. That's different. But, he did bring the ball out. And I love centre-halves doing that. I fucking love him doing that. But he doesn't do that. No, I'm not talking about Bruno and Pogba playing together as a 10 and a 6. That's a totally different positional thing. Playing side by side as a pair of 8s, they played together doing that twice. John says we score 1 goal against 2 championship level teams. The talent on this team is a joke. And you can't give Ralph shit for it neither, because he's put all his chips on the table. He went for it in both games. Both games. What do we need to challenge by 23-24? P.S. Maguire needs to be dropped. That for one. Outside of that, I'm not entirely certain, to be honest with you. Why is De Gea not working? I don't know why he hasn't worked on long kicks, to be honest. What do I think we need to change? I'm not sure it can necessarily be done with who we've got. I think you might need to look deeper than that. I think you might have to recruit. I think there's also certain training things that you can do, for sure. Wayne says, need some men in there. Get bloody Kessie as a no-nonsense unit. Yeah. Kessie would be top. Right. Michael says, there's no balance in a Pogba-Bruno midfield no matter who the DM is. They'd both be better off with a proper DM and a defensive box-to-box. Right. Well, that's something you can deal with come June when Pogba fucks off. But right now, your options playing Fred or Pogba, you're going to want to try and play Pogba. Simple. Now, you say that's too offensive. Was De Bruyne and Silva too offensive? No, it wasn't. Because you can build a team and a system around them. No one player or anything, apart from playing rush keeper, that might be considered too offensive by everyone's standards. But depending what you've got around you, you can do anything. Leon says, go for Rudiger. I don't think United have got the money to offer him, to be honest. Alex says, evening, that was shit. Sick of Maguire's lack of skill and Shaw's lack of defensive awareness and a general lazy feeling. Yeah. Comments are going a little bit on the quick side. Let me just see. Trying to slow these down and have a read of them. We know full well signings needed are not going to happen. That's what kills you with the hope, isn't it? If you thought, do you know what? Yeah, let's get to summer because we know our board's going to actually splash the cash. But, it is what it is. Any positives to take from the Borough game and this? Cabby says, I feel like it's a matter of time before these chances start going in. I would say yes, to be honest. Yeah, I thought some of the one-touch play has been a lot better. The sheer number of chances created is certainly a lot better. And ultimately, teams that are regularly creating chances will always regularly start to score, unless your forwards aren't good enough. And no one's telling me Cavani and Ronaldo aren't good enough, because that's just not the case. Oh my God, Max says, Steve, I'm only 20. I don't remember when we were a good team. You were 12, weren't you? Or 10. When we last won the league, you'd have been, 6? I guess. When? Yeah, you'd have been 6 when we won the Champions League. Surely you remember that. Steve, why aren't we talking about the fact McTominay can't play football? Says Mark. Because he will play until summer at least. If I was manager, who would I refuse to sell? That's a good question. Who's coming in trying to buy our players for starters? That might be a better question. I would think I'm probably not going to get rid of Varane because there's genuine lack. I'd probably say not Bruno either. And some people, people disagree on everything, don't they? So I'm certain people will disagree on whether or not we get rid of Bruno, but I would think you got to keep hold of him. I think you got to keep hold of Rashford and Sancho. And I know Rashford's not playing well at all at the moment. He will come good. Cabby says, don't think Declan Rice is the answer. Can't be spending all that sort of money on one player. I agree. I would go for 2. 2 for the price of whatever he's going to cost. Din says being realistic. We're stuck with Maguire. How are you getting him playing well again? Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know. What do you do? If you try and sell him, you're making such a loss. Someone's got to come in for him, and who the fuck is going to come in? Who's going to pick up that phone and go like, hello? See the guy with a cow head? And you're selling him. Who's doing that? No one's doing that, are they? Ugh. A lot of comments saying they take Jones over Maguire right now. I see what you're saying. I'm catching what you're throwing. Might have to act like Arsenal and let expensive signings leave on a free. What do you think we're doing with Pogba? And I actually don't think we even want to let him as well. Newcastle, yeah, that's a good shout. I think it could well be. I think Ralph's got the bollocks on him as well. I think he could well go with Lindelof in the next few games and see how it goes. Southampton's going to be a tricky game for us, on Saturday. It will be a tricky game for us. 130 million spent on Wan-Bissaka and Maguire. At the time, not that bad. We were a counter-attacking side. Right now, not fucking good, is it? Maguire was poor tonight, but a sweeper keeper behind him is 10 times better. That might be a thing as well. It's very important in how one person in the team impacts on those around them. Yeah. Weird how Hammers are looking better than us as a whole nowadays, isn't it? Because even man for man, you would still probably be picking mostly United players. I would think. Why is Sancho still playing on the left? I thought we bought him for the right. He played on both tonight. And he can play on both. Ronaldo, Cavani, Sancho trio might work out. Yeah. How's Maguire managed to fuck that up? He fucked it up like 3 times doing it, didn't he? Oh my God, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Is the goalkeeper issue next season? We need to catch up with the times and get a dominant keeper with good feet. The thing is, keepers are blowing hot and cold at the moment, aren't they? Mendy aside, who's sensational currently, but like fucking Jan Oblak, and I'm careful of what I'm saying here because there's every chance he pulls a fucking worldie out again. But Jan Oblak's been pretty shit lately, And he was best keeper in the world for a minute. And who are you? Who's the gettable best keeper in the world at the moment? And here's the other thing: if United don't know, why don't we know? Why don't we know that? Glazers won't let this team build up. There is that. We are the laughing stock of the league. Luckily, we're in the same league as Arsenal, so we're still all right. We're still better run than Arsenal. I mean, our captain might be shit, but he don't play for Barcelona instead of us. Maguire's a perfect example of the English tax on players. He ain't worth 80 quid, let alone 80 million. Like, here's the thing, right, as well. Declan Rice is a very good player. But when you come with what's probably going to be 90 to 100 million pound signing, the pressure that comes with that, the constant, unless you play for City, like if you play for a big club, like obviously you're going to get it. Jack Grealish has got away with fucking murders so far, hasn't he? But, the pressure on Declan Rice would be immense. And like I said, I think he's a good player, but is he that player? Honestly, for £100 million, I want a 22-year-old Roy Keane. Realistically, like, think about what we're fucking saying here. £100 million should be, I guaranteed, this fucker's world class. Watch. Is he that good? No. No. Pinch Weasel says, I think Rice will be expensive, but he could be a club captain in there for 10 years. Is he, though? Why are you treating Bruno like a problem? Who? What do I make of the Ten Hag Overmars connection and whether that impacts United's manager search? There seems to be more and more talk now, doesn't it, that Ten Hag is going to be leaving Ajax in the summer. But I don't necessarily think that 1 + 1 = 2, and that means that he's coming to United. I don't think that necessarily means that. Bad business buying Prem players. I disagree. I think there's still good business to be had buying Prem players, but you buy off one that's English in the Premier League, you're getting your arse felt. And I think you try and get one who's top 6 or thinks they're top 6, you're going to get stung as well. I think you can still get bargains in the Premier League, but they won't be English. Marty says, even when we bring in world-class players, they start to come down to the rest of the players in the squad. Steve, do I want a hug? I'm all right, at the moment. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know how. Honestly, I've not had COVID, but I've been sick as a fucking dog all weekend. Brutal. I couldn't go to the game on Friday. I forced myself to go watch Paddock and then made myself ill again by doing it. And now the missus has got it. It's fucking minging. Brutal. And what's the symptoms, Steve? COVID ones. But I haven't tested positive on COVID, so I've just got some other shit. Maybe I've got my own new variant. It's the H variant. Watch out for it. Sam says, build a team around Sancho, De Gea. Don't know about that. Varane and Bruno. Basuma above Rice every day. Honestly, fucking Neves before Rice. Really. Get me Neves. Marty says, thank God you do honest content. It's helping me get through these shite games. Imagine City get Ten Hag and we get Poch. Oh, man. Oh. I can see it. I can honestly see that happening, though. Do I think we'll be in for Kessie? No. Derby won today. Fucking go on. Nevers and Tillman says MK665. Yeah. You lose Ndidi to the African Cup, etc. You would. Why didn't we get Neves in January? Because there's no fucking ambition at this football club, is there? Let's be honest. Literally no ambition whatsoever. Unless it doesn't involve fucking retweets, they don't care. How hard can it be for us to get a decent midfielder? It's not, is it? Literally, you can go to the fucking Championship and probably get... Well, you can. One of them is ours. You can go to the... Hang on here. Ali Mammon says, shut up, Howson. You said Pogba can bugger off. You know little about football. In 2 starts, he's won a penalty and scored. Have I ever said it's because he's of ability? You fucking creature. No. I've said it's because he doesn't want to fucking be here. And if you don't want to be here, in all sincerity, fuck all the way off and take your fucking agent with you. I couldn't find a fuck to give. The Glazers have spent 1.3 billion, says Lee Townsend. No, they've stolen 1.5 billion. They've spent minus 2 billion. You're welcome. Basuma, Neves and Bruno's midfield free. That's tasty, innit? How do we convince the board to choose Ten Hag over petition? No, petitions are scouse. Don't do that. Maguire's such a liability and that midfield is off. I agree. Am I going to the Saints game? Yes. I think I have to fucking bounce early doors to get to our game. We got a league, very important game in the league. We got 4 games left in the league. Need to win all 4 to win the league, or to have a chance of winning the league. We could still win all 4 and not win the league. That fucking blow. But, it's one of those, isn't it? And we kick off at 3 o'clock, so I'm going to have to leave about 5 minutes to go, which blows, but it's one of those. Liverpool going for Carvalho from Fulham. They're on to something buying Championship players. Really? Championship's a fucking hell of a league. If you're a teenager playing Championship football, you are good enough to play Premier League football. And with a bit of luck and development, you can probably play top half Premier League. The intensity and the concentration that you need to play Championship, you can get away with a rougher touch. You can get away with some mistakes in there. But that physicality will bode you well. Can I see us having any successes again under the Glazers? No. Not sustained success. Absolutely not. Should Ralph take some blame for picking Maguire? I mean, yeah, because honestly, I thought that Lindelof had come in and looked like he did enough. David says, like Bellingham. What do you mean, like Bellingham? Bellingham and Rice is going to cost you £250 million, right? £250 million. £250 million. £250 million at least. So think of the squad you could assemble. That's 5 £50 million players, and I think we probably need 5 £50 million players. Not just of the remaining Paddock games on Saturday. Yeah, we only play Saturdays. Only play Saturdays, and at home it's 3 o'clock kickoff because that's the slot we have. And if it's away, it can be anywhere between 1 and 2:30 usually. Oh, it means Bellingham came from the Championship. Yes, correct. Garner's looked class in the Cup. He's looked class in the league as well. And he's been playing further forward. Not been playing as a 6 like you would have thought. Needs to be perfect defensively because we down near 0 finishers up front, says John. Red Bull could be an excellent midfield for the cost of one Rice. Yeah. We had someone similar with their recruitment. You know what I mean? He tried doing it with Hadara. I think it's even 40 million. You got to know where they're shopping and not get it for the £40 million markup price. Get it for the £8 million cost price rather than someone who's given it a fucking polish and kicked it back up the road to you. Do I think our scouting team know about Football Manager? If they did, our next 10 years would be sorted. Do you know what? On a serious note, right, people are going to scoff and laugh at this. Football Manager have got the best scouting network in world football. There is no football team that's got the depth of Football Manager. And, okay, basing your stuff entirely on Football Manager is not great because they can get stuff wrong. But if you look at who they're saying is going to be good, and use that as a base to go watch people from. You know, make that your sort of shortlist identifier. And then go, actually, let's see what these are all about. Go watch them 10, 15 times. You will find some bargains in there because the Football Manager, this sounds so fucking mad to say, doesn't it? But the Football Manager database is literally bigger than any professional club's database in world football. Yeah. Steve, remember when we said United scouted 400 right-backs and Wan-Bissaka was the answer? Yeah, and it cost 50 million. What the fuck? Did you sort it by value? Or price? Fucking... Honestly, if you give me the opportunity to sign a better right back and give me 50 million, Hakimi was an option, and he's a fucking United fan. And we sat down in front of Matt Judge, and Matt Judge went, what you called? The guy's probably the best fucking right back in the world at the moment. You fucking dicks. Here's a true story, right? Pochettino brought Hakimi over to Spurs, took him to their new stadium, took him on a fucking date, essentially, in a box, had a bit of a fucking sit-down nosebag with him, told him what his plans were for him as a player and what he would do. Now, United have a Mayfair office, so while he was in London, his agent organises a meeting with United. He sits in front of Matt Judge. Matt Judge is the fucking guy that sorts this out at Thingy. Loads of people thought this was... because I didn't name the player at the time. United were linked to a player, and everyone thought I was talking about him, and it wasn't him. It was Hakimi all along. I can't remember who the fuck everyone thought it was. But anyway, we sat him down in front of him, and fucking Matt Judge asked him his name. We are so fucking incompetent. And he's a United fan, and he was like, they don't fucking care. Fuck them. Yeah, everyone thought it was Meunier. That was it. Everyone really thought it was Meunier. No, Meunier everyone thought it was, but it was fucking Hakimi. Absolute fucking dicks. Do City do better transfers? Have they a better manager? They've done better transfers. I don't think their transfers under Pep have been sensational. I think he's been afforded mistakes. I think he's been afforded the time to ice someone for a couple of seasons and then bring them back when needed. And I think, that's something that we don't have the luxury of. If we'd have bought, people talking about Zakaria, 6 million, Kamara. these players, if you'd have got one of them, that would have been it, because they'd be like, we bought you a midfielder. Is Judge still involved? Yeah. There's far better defenders out there, says Sam. Trouble is, we paid 85 million for him, and now the club are going to keep paying him, so it doesn't reflect badly on him. Yeah. Rather than own up and say, listen, Joe, what, I fucked up there. Let's leave it. Michael says, Pep's had a few mistakes, but you don't be as successful as they've been with loads of unsuccessful transfers. They've done well mostly. I think they've had more bad transfers under Pep than good ones, or more ordinary ones. Their success has largely been carried by players that were there before Pep. Only like Diaz, like lately, that's been different to that. And look at the opportunity to replace. You come in, he's already got England's number one. He replaces him with Bravo, and immediately after one season gets to replace him with another goalkeeper. That's a luxury a lot of don't have. Look how many centre halves he signed. Cancelo's been a great signing. Come on, look at Pep signings. Yeah, but you're thinking about some of the positive ones. Philip Hapton says, Howson, you negative prick. Oh, well, no one made you fucking watch, did you, mate? What do you want me to be here? Be a fucking all ray of sunshine after we've just fucked it against bottom of the league? Have some fucking brains, you idiot. Yeah, City can spend 30 million on Mangala and move on. If that's United, guess what? He's still fucking playing for us. There's a reason that the likes... it's different. The bad ones get covered up because they're able to replace them. Just look how many fucking £50 million fullbacks they've had. Can't read these, they're going too fast. Do you know what? I'm going to call it a night. We're back out tomorrow. Me and Ronaldo are doing XG files in the morning, probably in the afternoon actually. So come and join us for that. Make sure to subscribe if you've not. We will do 5 things in the morning. And someone's just said, Pep would have shipped out most of our squad, but he wouldn't have though. He'd have still been trying to play out from the back with fucking Chris Smalling, and we'd have been getting absolutely tatered. Yeah. All right, I'm jiving. Catch you all in a bit. Good night.